Good morning, everybody. We'll be just starting in a second. Just need to share my screen here and we'll get going. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Get my camera on. There I am, crystal clear. Hope everybody's doing great. Let me say hello to everybody and we'll be starting in just a second. Remember, there's a little bit of a delay on YouTube and let's get the room filled up. Cam, I don't think I saw you here yesterday. I hope you're doing well. We got Devin, Cifazio, Kevin, Richard, Chad, Brian, Omar, Dave, Delroy, Jill. Hey, Jill. Hey, Omar. Hey, Chad. Hey, Kevin. How you guys doing? Devin, Cifazio, Jill, Ivano, James, Delroy, Dave, Christian, Lydia, John, Matt, Sassy Trainer. Good morning, Sassy Trainer. Cam, good to see you here. Stephen, Gregory, Jeff, Junior's in the house. Hey, Junior. Robert, I call my son Junior all the time. Robert, Javad. It is Wednesday, isn't it, Javad? You know, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Where's the week going, right? Where's this week going, Javad? I don't know. Jody, Mike, Lewis, Thomas, Moondog, back from the gym. Every time I see Moondog, I'm hoping that he won't say back in the hospital. Back at the gym, I love that. That works for me. Lewis Thomas, Moondog, Illinois grain farmer. Thank you for recommending your uncle. I got an email from your uncle yesterday. Illinois grain farmer told his uncle that Roger, he recommended me. So I appreciate that. Tom, Richard, I got your email, Richard, but right before I was about to go upstairs and I didn't have a chance to respond to it. But I saw you wrote something about Catalyst. Happy hump day to you too, Richard. Feinberg from Puente Gorda. Wade, cheese grade trader. Cheese grater trader. That's funny. George, Robert, Jesse. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Robert, George, everybody. Steve, hola to you too. Robert, Ray, Harry, JB. We got Henry, Ira. We got Charlie Clyde. We got JB. We got Richard. Hey, Richard. I'm on the favorite morning show on earth. Hit the thumbs up button and a cup of coffee. How could things get better? Well, you being here already makes things better. William's in the house. Frank is in the house. Sergey is in the house. Robert, Stacy, Patrick. Sergey, is that are you Russian or Ukrainian? I'm just curious. It's a familiar name. Familiar name. My family is Ukrainian, so I see a lot of familiar names when I see Sergey. Frank, William, Robert, Stacy, Patrick, Anukumar, Dave, Kathy, Rick, Rachel, Gustavo. Hey, Gustavo, good to see you here. I don't think I've seen your name here last few days. We got talk stocks with me. I'm talking stocks with you, Mr. Ontario. Eagle Beagle's in the house. Murray, Henry, Deanna, Vernon, John, Charlene, Charlene, Kurt, Michael, David, Deb, JB, Ray, Robert. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Moldova. Well, I was almost right. Almost right. Catherine, welcome, Sergey. Sin, my pleasure, Illinois grain farmer. Delbert, Duzzy, Candy, Milai, Raj, Sherman. Karen the Shark is here. Peter's here. Peanuts is here. Omar, Genevieve, Michael, good morning. Good morning, everybody. And if I did not mention your name, it's just because there's a lot of people here. There's 252 people here, and it's going by pretty quickly. Before we begin, really, really quickly, you will get a lot more benefit out of this video. Hey, Mitch, good to see you. Bill, John, thank you for that video yesterday, John. Very, very nice. Randy, Mark, and thank you for all the emails. I got some really good emails yesterday about NVIDIA and about Microsoft and about CCJ and about the e-mini trades. You guys are fantastic. Really fantastic. Carlos, Daniel, David. They tell me in the back office I get a lot more testimonials than all the other gurus, probably more gurus, all of the gurus put together, but I really appreciate it. Please make sure you're watching at 1080p. Make sure you put this gear setting at 1080p HD, and you guys will be good to go, okay? Because the quality, you want to see the graphs in the best quality you can, And a lot of times your laptop will switch you to auto like mine does. Fortunately, my auto is 1080p because I'm on a wired line. Robert, thank you. Palantir, Palantir too. Yeah, he made money in Palantir. We'll talk a little bit about Palantir. It got upgraded this morning. So please, 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 please put your video quality to 1080 HD, the gearbox. And while you're there, if you don't mind, if you're getting benefit out of this, if you like me, if I don't offend you too much, give me a thumbs up. All right. Thank you so much for doing that. And now let's begin. So as you guys can see, the Nasdaq is down quite a bit. Not quite a bit. I'm talking about the divergence between the Nasdaq and the Dow. It's really not down. This is random trading action. This is not really very meaningful trading action. But you could see right here that the Nasdaq is obviously having a problem going up today, and the Dow is not. And anybody here who knows our catalysts already, you know, you guys already know why Nasdaq is down, right? Anybody who knows my catalyst, which we're about to get into right more. Good morning, Bob. That's who I didn't see this morning, Bob. I was curious about you, but there you are. Good morning, Bob. Good to see you. Robert, Amazon, eBay. Good morning, Gustavo. Thank you for that. Actually, let me give you some links, guys. Let me give you some links. Where's my links? Let me start off by giving you some links. And then, meanwhile, can you guys put the catalysts? Put the catalysts on there so I can read them off, okay? So here's the room for my VIP room where I will be answering questions about day trading and picking my favorite stocks today. You really don't want to miss it. It's going to be an amazing session. I'm going to do a full review today. Also, remember, guys, without customer service like Cam and Gustavo, we would not be getting very far. And I would be forced to answer customer service questions, which I'm really not good at. My patience extends to the markets, but not to customer service questions. I'm just not good at it. I would make the worst customer service agent. There you are, Richard. I was waiting for you. Okay, PPI data. There's a lot of stuff there, but there is a lot of catalysts today. We got PPI data, bank earnings, absolutely. Johnson Johnson, but not for the reason because there's some regulation on pharmaceuticals and Johnson Johnson. PGR has PGR already came out with earnings. PGR is a pretty influential stock. Palantir is not a mega cap. I'm not seeing a major influence there. ASML definitely. Not auto manufacturing, no. U.S. Producers Price Index. So let me give you mine, okay? PPI, ASML, financials because of Progressive, because of bank stocks, financials, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, the Fed, industrial production, crude oil, beige book. Those are mine, okay? PPI, beige book, crude oil inventories, industrial production, Fed speakers, plus whatever else the Fed and Fed means tariff, that, the whole tariff, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, financials, ASML, PPI. I wrote them for you right here. There they are. PPI, ASML, financials, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, Fed, industrial production, crude oil, and beige book. But I think you got them all. I think most of you got them all. You don't have to get itemized. Try not to get itemized. The more stocks you can put in one category, the bigger the catalyst. When you start itemizing, you're putting too much faith into each individual stocks, okay? But for the main part, you guys got it right. What do you think about MP? I gave it as a bonus yesterday, Stefan. I'll talk about it again today in the pit room, probably, if you guys ask me, but it's a bonus trade. I'm not really looking at bonus trades right now. I will look at it in the session today. I still like the stock, though. So, yeah, airline earnings, possibly. Airline earnings could be one, but when are airline reporting? When are airlines reporting? Do we have any airlines reporting this morning? I don't think I did not see an airline stock report this morning. So that's why I didn't put airlines in there. If an airline stocks does report this morning, then that's a catalyst. Here's what I have for today. I don't see any airline stocks here. Folks, the worst thing you can do, I know you're excited. I know you want to give me a catalyst, but the worst thing you can do for yourself is create a catalyst that's not a catalyst. So it's better to be less is more with catalysts. Okay. Less is more. I don't see any airline stocks here. So I don't see how airlines would be a catalyst today. When does United come out? Did United come out just now? I don't see it on here. Rich, I haven't looked yet. I'll look later today. I'll let you know if you send me an email. I'll take a look. But it should be on the first page. Yeah, well, if UAL is after market close, then why would it be a catalyst during market session? Okay, see, you guys did it again. Folks, I've said this a gazillion times, and if you keep doing it, I'm going to stop giving you catalysts because I'm just going to assume you guys know this well enough and you don't need my help. Anything that comes out after the market close cannot be a catalyst for this market session unless there's a time machine and people can predict the future, which we haven't figured out how to do yet. So United is going to be a catalyst for tomorrow, not for today. Okay. Please be cautious with your catalysts. Okay. Yes, for tomorrow morning. So PPI, ASML, financials, healthcare pharmas, they're together. Fed, industrial production, crude oil inventories, and beige book. That's it. That's the catalyst. Okay. And these are the earnings you're going to keep an eye on. If you guys don't have this sheet yet, I'll give it to you again for the third time. There you go. Okay. Airline tomorrow, not today. So we know that this market is down right now because of ASML. A catalyst, a chip catalyst is causing this to go down. Meanwhile, blue chip stocks seem to be doing okay. Now, keep in mind, we have industrial production right before the market opens, and we have PPI, and CPI wasn't all that great. Now, look at this number. They're expecting 2.7. If the number is 2.7, it's great. It'll be perfect. If this number is not 2.7, if this number goes into 3.1 or 3.2, anything above last year's number is not going to be good. All we want, I don't really care if it's 2.7. I want the number to be better than a year ago. Same thing with the regular number right here. I want this number. See how 2.5, it's better than 2.6? That's all I care about. If it's 2.4, 2.3, it doesn't matter. I want the Fed to be able to say producers are paying less than a year ago because consumers are not. Okay. We saw that yesterday, right? We saw that yesterday right here. 2.8 versus 2.9, 2.4 versus 2.6. I don't care if our president or Hassett or God comes and tells you that the number is better than it was a year ago. It's not. It's worse. So today we want to see this number better than a year ago, which it's priced in to be better than a year ago. So if producers are paying less, that would be a really good report. I don't know if it will happen, but we're anything below last year's. If this is 2.9, it'll still be okay because it's better than a year ago. And if this number is a 2.5, it'll be better. We just don't want this number to be where it was a year ago. Hey, Kay. Hey, Gerald. Good morning to you. Hey, Klaus. Great name. Every time I think Klaus, I think Klaus Main from Scorpions, the singer from the Scorpions. I love the Scorpions. So anytime I see Klaus, the first thing I think about is Klaus Main. Or Klaus Mine. I'm not sure if it's Klaus Main or Klaus Mine. Anyway, I love those German bands. What's US dollar doing? US dollar is still going up, but not really. It's right at the 50-day moving average. That's a major resistance area for it. We need to see if it goes above that. If it goes above that, the next level is our first major, hey, the US dollar is not as bad as we thought it was. It'll be about 99. And then when it's at the 100-day moving average, we'll be at par. That'll be fantastic. That would give us a little bargaining leverage. Right now, we don't have a lot of bargaining leverage in trade war, okay? Really, really important. So really, we got to be very, very cautious right here. We got to be very cautious because we could turn down right here and we're still in a downtrend in principle. You could see this. It can right now, look at how it goes to the 50-day. Look how it goes to the 50-day. Look how it goes to the 50-day. This is the third time it's going to the 50-day. Look, goes to the 50-day, backs away. Goes to the 50-day, backs away. It's at the 50-day right now. Let's see if it backs away. If it doesn't back away today or tomorrow, it's not going to be as great. All right? Just heads up. We need this number to back away. Otherwise, we're going to break higher. Bond market. Well, this is not great. The bond market's right at our threshold. Here, let me see how I drew this for you. We're right at our threshold, literally right at our threshold. If this breaks, rates are going higher. I think today's report will impact that. I have no idea what it's going to do. The odds are if it finds support here, it'll come right back down and give us a little bit of a relief. I'm not holding my breath. It is negative right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but today's report, which comes out in just a little bit, will give us a really good idea. Right now, bonds are going up aggressively. Look at that, which is a good sign. This is the right here. So as long as we stay in this range, we're still okay. We haven't broken down this area, and we're coming up right now. So this is good. Let's see what happens when the report comes out. Let me give you small cap stocks for today, okay? DTST. I want the stock to break above 510. Put it right above this bar, above 510. If it doesn't go above actually, it's not 510. It's 502, above 502. And this one, GAME, game, we want this stock to go above 250, right above this bar. If they don't do that, they're not in play. Okay, just giving you heads up. So game and DTST. Okay, it's a nice breakout on this stock, real nice breakout on this stock, but it's got to go above the $5 range. And game, you have a nice pullback with high volume bar, but it's got to go above this area so that it could test this area. Okay, and we'll come back to this in about 15 minutes or 14 minutes. I got to change my clock when the report comes out. Gold market. Gold's doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Squat. Very similarly to crude oil. I think that everybody's waiting for the US dollar to see if the US dollar breaks this area. If the US dollar breaks this area, there's a really good chance we're going to see it come up here and we're going to see some action on gold and crude oil. But for today, you want to watch the bond market. The bond market's going to be the big daddy today. Okay, because you got the bond market and basically the bond market. Keep an eye on it. So nothing for crude oil, no directional bias for crude oil. And also it's not a really strong seasonal time of year for commodities. Talk to me says, please hit thumbs up, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's going to hover around here. I wouldn't be doing much with Bitcoin right now. I will let you know when coin is ready for another break higher. But the fact that Bitcoin is breaking higher right now is telling me that folks are interested in putting their assets in non-traditional assets, which is not a really great sign for the stock market. Okay. I don't really follow silver very much, Kurt. I'll take a look at it if you want real quick. I'm not a big commodities guy anymore. I used to be. I pretty much followed the major ones. Needs to pull back to this area right here. See how it keeps pulling back to this area? Needs to pull back to the 33.66, and then we'll see what happens. But as long as these lines are moving up, you're good to go. See how they're moving up? They're moving up. You're good to go. Once they start moving down, no good. But I'd want it to buy it near a pullback around 33.66. Less than like 80 cents lower than it is right now. Hopefully that helps you out. Let me give you some links today. VIP room, very, very strong session. Your favorite stocks, putting everything together, and the difference between index trading and stock trading. A lot of people are struggling with that and believe that we use the same methodologies. We do not. So I'll be covering that today, answering your questions, and I'll also be giving you my favorite stocks. And I'll dissect your favorite stocks. We'll do a Q&A session today. Also, Customer Service Live. There's a link I just posted, the Cam and Gustavo show. You really can't afford to miss that out. Okay. So we went through silver. China is on the up right now. It's starting to break out a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's put everything together and we'll look at volatility. We got news coming out today. We're making a good. I remember you guys would struggle with your catalysts about a month ago. Yeah, I have the status. I have the crude oil on my catalyst today. Who was it? John Short. I have the petroleum status report on my catalyst watch. So definitely there. So let's go through this. Okay, we're doing really good on time today. So we got U.S. producers' inflation data, quarterly reports for big banks, and remarks from the Fed officials. How about that? Right away, you got three catalysts. Right away, you could write down, just by reading this, you could write down three catalysts. Then, President Trump signaled on Tuesday that tariffs on pharmaceuticals could be implemented by the end of the month, and semiconductors follow. So we know right away pharmaceuticals are in play, and we had an earnings on Johnson Johnson. So double whammy right there. And yes, Johnson Johnson is a material stock. Yes, that is a very influential stock, just like Bank of America, just like Goldman Sachs. That's a very influential stock. So just it's by reading this, you really get your catalysts very, very well. Hey, Terrence, good to see you. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. So he also stated that letters informing smaller countries of their U.S. tariffs could be sent out soon, adding that his administration would likely impose tariffs of over 10% on these nations. He said the president predicted he could finalize 2 or 3 trade agreements. What happened to getting 99 letters back that folks can't wait to sign these deals? Yeah, see, it looks like the Fed's going to keep pushing rates back and back because it doesn't look like we're going to have a lot of certainty till August 1st. I mean, the way he was talking a couple of months ago, I thought this was going to be a done deal by August 1st. But I mean, he's talking about 2 or 3 trade agreements. We basically have we have no signed agreements, folks, which is kind of like, where's the beef, right? Wells Fargo slid more than 5%. That's obviously a catalyst. AMD is definitely a catalyst. I mean, this was yesterday. Chip stocks are a catalyst today because of ASML. Core CPI came out worse than expected, but manufacturing came in better than expected. Remember, the Fed can't plug in their dot plot summary until they have finalized tariff numbers because tariffs are a major impact on the economy. So they need those numbers to be able to tell us how things are going to go. They're economists. That's what they're supposed to do. They can't do that with, I think we're going to finalize 2 or 3. That ain't going to cut it. All right. Tom Barkin said on Tuesday that the latest inflation data showed sign of building price pressure and that more were on the way. Yeah, we're about to enter a nasty storm, okay? We're about to remember supply all the companies have about a 90 to 120 day supply. And it doesn't, we're not really good. That's the report I'm struggling to find on mobile app. Yeah, I'll find it to you, Richard, or just go to the desktop app and just send it to yourself. It's on the front page. It's always on the front page. But I'll look on my mobile app and I'll see where I could find it. All right, let's continue. So Boston President Collins said she believes central banks can afford to be patient. Absolutely, when considering rate cuts. Continued overall solid economy enabled the Fed to take the time. Exactly. And again, remains unclear how much of the tariff companies could pass along to the consumers, which is 1,000% correct. And I don't care if you love Trump or hate Trump. That's just where we are. We need to know what they are. We need to know what it's going to be so we can plan. And if any, it's called planning. Like before you go on vacation, you plan your trip. That's what the Fed is trying to do. After the latest inflation data, traders priced in lower odds that the Fed will cut rates more than once this year, with the chance of September now below 50%, which is what I was trying to tell you over the weekend. We have earnings on United Airlines after the market closes, which means they have no impact on today's prices unless you can predict the future. And if you can, you don't need to be here. Bank stocks, Johnson Johnson, Progressive, that's financial. Progressive is financial. We have PPI coming out in about 5 minutes. We got core PPI coming out. I just want the number to be better than a year ago so we could say that, hey, we're making progress, right? That's all we want because on the consumer front, we're not making progress and inflation data hasn't hit yet. That's a problem right there. We have industrial production manufacturing coming in at 9:15. You're not going to be making any big plans before the market opens because this comes out at 9:15 in the morning. Crude oil inventories come out at 10:30. Usually they come out a little earlier, I think, but 10:30, and then you have the beige book at 2 o'clock. So we will have some volatility today. I predict the majority of the volatility will happen before the market opens, however. Okay. Uh, hey, Angie, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Always good to see Angie. Let's see. We got Fed speakers talking today. They're all, I mean, obviously, what they say will have a lot to be impacted by the PPI report, but consumers are paying more than they were a year ago. That's not what our administrators telling us, but that's what the report is telling us. I mean, if you hear inflation's getting better, just tell them to look at the CPI. Okay, the CPI will tell you. For my daughter, before she leaves, she did amazing high school. Give me those dates, Richards, when you're going to be here so I can mark them down, okay? Just send me an email with those dates. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see you and meet your daughter and your wife. And my wife, too. She looks forward to meeting them. Richard and my wife had a great conversation during dinner here, and she likes Richard. She wants to see him again and his wife, and Beige Book is coming out at 2 o'clock today. Europe is down 0.32. ASML is really putting a lot of pressure on technology stocks. It's going to put a lot of pressure on chip stocks. I'm glad we got out of Nvidia yesterday. China ended slightly lower, although if you look at the chart looks pretty bullish here. This is a bullish looking chart here. Concerns persisted over relationship with the U.S. President Trump on Tuesday stated the country would fight China in a friendly fashion. He's not going to fight China. Morgan Stanley economists said in a note that in their base case, they assume U.S. tariff rate in China would stay unchanged at 30%. But the recent escalation on other economies is likely to further dampen global trade momentum. 100% true. Japan closed below the flat line as worries over the upcoming upper house election and the fate of trade talks with the U.S. kept sentiment subdued. That is exactly right. ASML is a big stinker. It's going to apply all other chip stocks are going to be impacted by it. Johnson Johnson is a major catalyst. They raised their full year guidance, which is really good for healthcare stocks. We'll see how that goes. Hey, Jeff, good to see you here too. Good to see you. Oh, we got the usual suspects here. We got 579 people here. We love that. Global Payments is not a major stock, but I'm glad to see that payment processors, this is good for fintech. Remember, I told you fintech is my favorite sector coming into this year. I still like fintech. Palantir is not a major catalyst. It's a big stock, but it's not a major catalyst, and it's not up 1%. With catalysts, less is more. Okay? With catalysts, less is more. Like, for example, you could clearly see ASML is a big catalyst. Palantir, and they wouldn't put it all the way down here if it was a major catalyst. They would put it up here. Okay? Dr. Serena has some health problems. She let me know she's not going to be here for a while. She's recovering. Thank you, Bob. Almost 600 people in 30 minutes. If you guys haven't given us a thumbs up yet, I would appreciate it. All right. So let's now talk about charts and let's talk about stocks. First things first, volatility. Volatility has not moved outside of this range, as you could see here, and it's now coming back up. The key level to watch is 20. That's this level right here. But if we get above 18 and a half, that's going to dampen sentiment because usually we'll traverse. And usually these moves happen fast. I'm not seeing anything on the horizon right now, which means we still have fairly stable market environment, okay? All right. You know, Richard, my undergrad degree was in criminal justice. You know, I thought it would help me in law school. Oh, PPI came out. Let's take a look. PPI, bond markets are moving higher, which means uh, lower rates. Let's take a look at what the number looks like. That's a good number, though. I mean, that's a good report. 2.3. See, look at that. See, better than even this is great. This is a great report. This is a really good report. Look, they were expecting 2.5. All I wanted was it to be better than a year ago. A year ago it was 2.6. It was now 2.3. That's better. It's better. It's a good number. It's a good number. Much better than consumer price index. Now, what about this number here? What about this one? Let's see how the market's doing. Dow Jones is rallying, SPY is rallying, QQQ is rallying, SMH, even SMH is moving higher. By the way, just wanted to show you something, and I'll show you this a little later too, but SMH is bouncing right off the 8-day EMA, which is not a bad sign because it can come up right here. Does anybody know what the mainline number is? Oh, here we go. X Food and Energy. Yeah, the number's good. This is a good report, man. This is a great report. We're making progress. My daughter goes there. Bob, my daughter goes to University of Tampa. That's where my daughter goes. And my son graduated from UF in Gainesville. But my daughter goes to Tampa. She's going to be graduating in December. So this is a good number. This is a good number. This is good for the market. I like what I'm seeing. I know you guys want me to say something really negative, but there's nothing negative to say. This will cause volatility to come down. Bonds, looks like bonds made a low right here on the daily, and they're coming up. We're above yesterday's range right here. See how we're taking above yesterday's range? This is good. This is good. This is positive for the market. She likes Tampa a lot, by the way, Angie, my daughter. I can give it. I'm not really familiar enough to talk about it, but my daughter really likes Tampa a lot. Okay, so we talked about our prognosis. We talked about the news. Remember, we still have industrial production, but this is a great report. This would tell us that economy is really stable, right? And that we could start, lowering maybe a little bit. I'd like to see consumer prices come off, but this is a pretty good report. Pretty good report. All right, let's look at sectors. Pretty good report. But we have to put everything together. So let me show you something. We have 100 stocks making 20-day highs. Let me show you a week ago. 170. But since then, so coming into on Wednesday, last Wednesday, coming into Friday last week, okay, we had 466 stocks making 20-day highs. Right now, that was 3 days, 72 hours ago. Right now, we have 100. There's not a lot of momentum to breaking out right now. In terms of 52-week highs, 51 stocks, but we're starting to get some to the downside. Look at this. Let me show you this. 23, 22, 12, 11, 3, 12, 2, 4, 1, 7, 14, 6, 22, 3, 14, 29, 38. Okay, so the last time we had 54 stocks was June 17th. That was a month ago. Folks, so the level right now is where it was a month ago to the downside. Look, 50, which is not a lot, but we're starting to get a little bit more two-sided market action. There's actually stocks that are on my short list now. Remember, I had no stocks on my short list. 20-week highs, we have 23 stocks. We have no stocks moving higher. 50-day high, we have 27 stocks. 50-day low, we have 48 stocks. Hey, we're starting to get a two-sided market. There are some stocks that are actually softening up right now. We need a two-sided market. 90-day highs, 80 stocks. What about 90-day lows? 80 stocks. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Roger, you're telling me that there's more stocks making 80-day, 90-day lows than 90-day highs? When was the last time we saw that? Let's see. I'm just going to go flip this back. 10, 18, 37, 5. I'm just going back. 57, 81, June 17th, a month ago. So, folks, momentum right now to the downside is the strongest it's been in 1 month. I'm going to repeat that for all of you who have selective hearing. Momentum to the downside is this is the first time in a month that, and I showed you, we literally just went through this. Look, I can go back 1 month. Here. Oops, I'm going back all the way. I went back too far. July, let me go back 1 month. There you go. There it is, June 17th. See, June 17th? And today is July 15th, 80. We haven't had this number in a month. What does that mean, Roger? Well, that means it's now starting to become a two-sided market. There's some pressure to the downside. That means that rubber band is not just going to get stretched out like this every day to the upside like it's been. We have some rhythm. Rhythm is good. You need rhythm you need a two-sided market in order to go higher. You can't, otherwise they'll just stretch out like this. And you don't want that. By the way, bonds are still going higher. This is really good for the market. Look, let's see what the Dow's doing. Dow's going up. SPY's going, oh yeah, the SPY's coming up. SMH is even going up. Look at that. See it right here. We'll talk about all that in a few minutes. My point is we have a two-sided market. We have to be more careful of downside pressure now than we've been for the last month. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to repeat that. We're going to now have more stocks to the downside, putting pressure on the market. We have a two-sided market for the first time in a month. Okay. Let's look at some of these charts. When you have a two-sided market, you can expect more volatility like yesterday. You notice we're not going up anymore. We're kind of hovering, and we're now not above the 8-day EMA. We're now at the 8-day EMA. I made a prediction that we were going to hit the 8-day EMA yesterday. Do you guys remember in the morning show, I said we're going to hit the 8-day EMA yesterday before going higher? I said I think we made a high at the morning. This is exactly 24 hours ago on this show. I told you that I think we made a high in the morning, and then we're just going to come down and hit the 8-day EMA. Did we not do that yesterday, or did we do that yesterday? Let me show you. Look. Here's our high in the morning. Here's the morning, and here's the entire session. High first thing in the morning, low at the end of the session. Come and watch my video from yesterday. Folks, we're a little overbought, right? This is yesterday. We're a little overbought here. We need to come down to the 8-day EMA. We did exactly that yesterday. Did I not say we were going to do that? Yes, I did. We're now at the 8-day EMA. Typically, when we're we don't stay at the 8-day very long. We either go above the 8-day or we come back down. We're right now, expect two-sided trading action today. Expect some more downside. Don't be surprised if we hit the 15-day at some point today or tomorrow. Okay, that's 618 level, 618, 63. And don't be surprised if we hit this VWAP at 615. The upside is very limited in my opinion right now. Stocks had a really good chance to go up when there was hardly any stocks selling off. We now have momentum, the strongest momentum to the downside we've had in a month, which means we have a two-sided market. The odds are we're going to stay in this area for a while. Going to stay in this area for a while. I hope this is helpful to you guys. How did I predict that, HG? By putting everything we talked about together yesterday. But you got to admit, I was right on the money, right? 31 years of experience, HG. And again, going through the same story every day. You go through the story 1,000 times, you're going to start feeling. This is why I feel that by doing this every day, you guys will have a really good insight into market action. I think you're going to get to a point where after listening to me for a couple of months, you go and listen to other gurus and you're going to be laughing at them in their face. Because that's what I do. When I look at other gurus, I just cringe most of the time. Like, this guy has no idea what they're talking about. So look at the depth. Think about this. Look at the depth that I go through every morning to get a good feel for price action. And I do it every day, an hour with you guys. This is how I do it. I don't look at the market before here. This is my morning. This is how I get the data in my head. So after a while, you start seeing the picture. It's like your favorite show that you're watching. If I ask you, what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? You're going to talk for half an hour, and you're probably going to be about 75% right. It's just the same thing. It's just doing something for a while. You start seeing the same picture over and over again. All right. We're going to look at the mags in just a second. We're going to look at all of that. So right here, you see right here, we're in this range. I think we're going to stay in this range for a while, which means we have a two-sided market. And we've been proving that by showing that we finally have more stocks. This is the first time in 1 month that we've had more stocks. Look at my list to the downside. I've got like two here. It's this side right here. I've got a lot of stocks. Look at my list yesterday, 5 stocks. Look at my list the day before that, 4 stocks. Look at my list before that, 5 stocks. Right here, see 5 stocks. Look at my list today. This is my short list right here. Look how many stocks I've got to my short list. All of these stocks right here. That's the first time I've had that. Okay. So again, all of this tells me this. There's no, I don't have a special sauce. I don't have any special, it's just been doing this for years and years and years and years and years and years. And after you do something for many, many years, you're going to get pretty damn good at it. Okay. So the next level is the 15-day EMA. I don't think we're going to get away from the 15-day EMA. I don't think so. And I also don't think we're going to get away from this level. So the next level is 618.85. And then the next level after that is 615. Then we'll have to see what happens then. QQQ. And I will go through the megs in a second. Gregory says, I can't believe how much better you are than the other gurus. If you know, you know. It's just all you got. And I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you, go watch me for 3 weeks in my morning show and then watch any other guru do their analysis. They're going to look like a little child. All right, let's look at it here. See how we're softening up? I don't think we can go higher without breaking this. We have too much two-sided pressure. And we're right at the 8-day EMA. And look at what happens. Every time we come off the 8-day EMA, what happens? We come right back. We need to start getting a little lower. We need to show some downside pressure. Markets cannot continue going higher without downside pressure. It's like a basketball. If you try to dribble a basketball from this far in the ground, you're going to get this much momentum. But when you start getting, we need some rhythm. The market has to have rhythm. It's just been stretching up to the upside. You need someone to sell, then you need buyers to come in. You can't have buyers coming in without sellers. And this is a market that's just been stretched out. See, this is what happens when you have no sellers coming in. You have this low volume push higher. I want real trading action. Real trading action, we need a rhythm. In order to have a two-sided market, you have to have a rhythm. We're finally getting a rhythm. Hopefully, we'll have a two-sided market for quite some time. But that way, you'll see a lot more volatility. Think about it. How much volatility can you see if nobody's selling anything? Basically, you have buyers dipping their toe, but nobody's selling anything. This is what you're going to see. Very choppy, very non-directional, just one-sided trading action. I want to see some rhythm to this market. So I want to see more price action like this. I want to see price action like this, like yesterday, like this. So I think we're going to go back to these levels. I think we're going to go to 550.87, and I think we're going to go to 547 before it's all said and done. We need to have some more. Um, we need to have some more downside pressure. Let me just draw this for you here. There we go. Just going to leave this here, okay? Let's look at SMH. Now, SMH till today has been outperforming everything. The AI thing seems to be back. Look how we're right at this is the only thing that's been bought up aggressively. And even this, look at how it's moving. It needs to cool off. We need to come back to the 265 level. Okay. But for now, let's start off with coming back to reality, which would put us right here. Okay. And I've been telling you almost every day, be very careful, be very cautious. We don't have two-sided price action. See how this looks very stretched out? It doesn't look like natural trading action because there's no sellers coming in. So I think we're going to kind of stay in this cloud right here. I'm going to leave this for you, okay? Thanks, thanks, Carl. I appreciate that. Thanks, Gregory. Thank you, guys. Yes, two-sided price action will bring more volume. Although, granted, we do. I want to remind you all, we're in the lull right now. As a matter of fact, from July 15th till about um, first or second week of September, you're going to have some lower volatility. Mid-July, mid-July to mid-September. People think it starts earlier, but it doesn't. It usually starts second week of July, the lull, and it goes till about the first to second week of September. It starts later. It starts later. Okay. All right. And you could see here we're down 0.883, and I think the next level is going to be here 28133 and 27744. And again, if you guys, you don't have to have this on your charts. This is the 15-day EMA, that's the 8-day EMA, and that's the VWAP from the quarterly VWAP from the last option expiration, which I think we're going to have to break before going higher. I'm telling you that I think we're going to go back to 265 before going higher. It's been very stubborn, very, very stubborn, Richard, which is not a good thing because you need the sellers. You can't have a market without sellers. You got to have a two-sided price action. Otherwise, just going to be the rubber band is just going to get stretched out, and it is getting stretched out. All right, mega caps. I promised mega caps, and I do want to go through mega caps. The SPY, by the way, is still near the highs. Look how we've been turning around and coming back up. We're in yesterday's range right now. Probably near the high of the day if I had to bet, or maybe right here will be the high around six here, about 625. All right, so let's look at mega caps. Mega caps have been going higher. They have been going higher. We've actually had some good stuff on mega caps, but it hasn't been resonating into the overall market. It's been just kind of stuck on the large caps. You might have seen Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, but the truth of the matter, if you take that away, which we will in a minute via the RSP, you'll see that we're much more flatter. This is an anomaly right here, and I have a trend line right here, and I think we're going to come right back to 55.74, then 55.48, excuse me, and then 55.11. I think we're just going to hover around here, but there's more pressure to the downside. And look how low volume has been the last 2 weeks. It's been really, really low. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that. And folks, if you haven't had a chance to click the like button, please do. One second here. One second. One second. One second, one second. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. All right. Sorry about that. Somebody had a question for me. By the way, folks, remember, come into the VIP room today. I'm going to pick your favorite stocks. I'm going to talk about Bollinger With. I'm going to talk about options. I'll select some stocks and I'll talk about futures. It'll be a great session. And don't forget customer service live. I also need to talk about seasonality for the next couple of weeks with you. So we're going to cover that today in the VIP room. One second. I'm doing like 3 things at once right now. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, right here you have your levels. The bottom level is near 54.85. The top upper, so between 54 and 56, 54 and 56. The mid 54s to the mid 56 on this. Now let's look at equal weighted SPY. Wow, I don't know where today has gone. Equal weighted. So this is important, folks, because you see how what equal weighted SPY is doing already? Without the mid caps, without the large cap stocks, do you see how the SPY is folding over? Those 7 stocks is not going to rescue the day. Okay. So this is a lot more in line with what the market is really looking at like right now. Okay. Not this, not that, but this. It's a lot weaker. You take those mega caps away, and it's going to look like this. And by the way, I just want to remind you of something. That support area that I said we're going to come to on RSP, we're almost there. We're at 182. It's at 180. That means SMH, remember SMH 265? That would be equivalent to SMH coming down to here. If the chips give out, if NVIDIA gives out, that's your level right there. So keep an eye on RSP because the RSP feels to me a lot more like the broad market right now than the NASDAQ. This is what the market looks like right now to me, like this. And you could see which way it's heading, in my opinion. This is not a pretty bar right here. As a matter of fact, we haven't had a bar like this since this bar right here. And look at what happened afterwards. So I look at the size of these bars. So to me, I think we're coming down to the 180 level. Okay. Dow, let's take a look at the Dow. One second. I don't know why, but folks decide to have conversations with me while they know I'm in here, which doesn't make any sense. But just give me 1 second. All right. All right. So you guys see the danger zone here on the Dow? The Dow, if you look at the Dow, look, this is important. Look at the Dow. The Dow looks a lot more like RSP. Look at RSP and now look at the Dow. See how they look the same? You take away you take away that market cap, and this is what the market will start looking like last few days. Does this look like a bullish trend to you? This is why you have more stocks breaking down right now. The SPY is not reflecting this yet, but the Dow and RSP are reflecting this already. That level on the Dow, that 265 on SMH on the Dow, that level is 42,288. I have not changed this level. I think we're going to be coming down here, which means the QQQ, when these large caps give up the ghost, They're going to come down right here to this level, which is 536.95. And SMH is going to come down to this level right here. I know you guys don't think it will, but I believe it will come right back down to this level, or at least down to this to the bottom area here. But I'm pretty sure it'll come right down to the 265 level before going higher. Okay, folks, let me give you sectors. Sectors, real quick. Sectors. Remember, there's no directional momentum. We have just as many stocks now going down and up, but it's less than 100. So we're still in a very choppy range. If you were to look at, I'm so glad my internet is working again fast. Semiconductors are up there, but look, utilities. But we're starting to see some spec stocks to the upside. I'm hoping it's the beginning and not the end, but Bitcoin, semiconductors, QQQ's finally up here, not down here. Communication, the consumer discretionary. So we do have some potential to move directionally, but based on everything else I've seen and the fact that there's less than 100 stocks in each direction is contradicting that and telling me that the odds are we're just going to kind of chop around. The point. So let me summarize everything before giving you my conclusion is I think we're starting to enter a two-sided market. I think a handful of large cap stocks are fooling you into thinking or trying to sucker you into going long. The market is not looking bullish right now. It's looking neutral right now, neutral to slightly bearish. We're going to keep an eye on the number of stocks breaking down, but that number is starting to get a little heavier. And I don't like what I've seen on RSP, and I don't like what I've seen on the Dow. And there's only so much these mega caps can do. Okay, there's only so much these mega caps can do, and even the mega caps, if you look at mags, they haven't really been going up. They've been going sideways. Look, sideways. This is more of a sideways. We have a couple of days, but we've been in this range, and now we're entering this range back. And I think as this comes down, it'll put pressure on the rest of the market, and those RSP and Dow stocks will start coming down more. Now, what I just showed you in the last 3 minutes, that's the part that I'm talking about other gurus completely missing the boat and not relating one index to another and just trading everything like this. So you see how I told you the story right now? We looked at mega caps, we looked at RSP. By now, you have a really good idea of the inside of the dynamics between all these sectors. And if you're new here, trust me, by me doing this every day, it'll come. But at least you have a picture. You have a picture in your mind's eye of what the market is really looking like inside out. Okay? Really, really, really important. Okay? Let me give you my link, and then I'll go through my stocks, and then I'll bid you farewell. Because I'm going to be late for work, and my boss is going to be very upset at me if I'm late for work. I don't want to get yelled at by Clyde and Matt. It's not good. Hold on a sec. You could get a sense of that softening in the ADD yesterday. You sure could, Jeremiah, and I was telling you about it all day long. Why does this thing not want to copy and paste? Okay, there we go. All right. Kevin says, I agree 100%. Lowering debt level will be the real catalyst to putting money in the pocket of the average person. Otherwise, trading higher will also be absolutely. All right, guys, let me give you stocks that I'm looking at, and then I'll let you go. Flow, Flower Foods. Look at that trend. Whew. ELV. First time I'm ever bringing this stock to your attention, right? Wrong. From right here. Look at all that. From 350 to 338. Every single day I've been giving you this stock. Every single day. Lulu. Remember Lulu? Well, guess what happened to Lulu? Our last loss in the pit was a Lulu. Lulu was breaking down right here. Excuse me, right here, right there. We took a short right there, went to the 15-day, confirmed 15-day. We closed it out following our rules, and then look what it did again. Broke down beautifully. So my rules work really well. If it didn't do this right here, we would have stayed in the stock. But hey, we got to take losers sometimes too. But Lulu's in play again. Fun is in there. Carl, I talked about semiconductors extensively today already. Yep, Clyde prefers the home. Here's fun, BRB, oops, BRBR, Berling Brands. Bell Ring Brands. Breakdown there. HELE. Today I'll be talking about options in the VIP room. I know that I haven't talked about options a lot. I'll be talking about options in the VIP room today. Helen of Troy. I don't know what they do. Oh, I guess it's a toy company or something. I'm not sure. Pilgrim's Pride. Consumer staples are just in the shitter right now. SLP. Simulation. Look at that. Decker Outdoor. Hoka. Hoka and Uggs. Breaking down. Verizon, first day of a breakdown. Keep an eye on Verizon. We may see more love breaking down below these levels. I would wait for it to be below 40, but just FYI, it's breaking down. I'm not a big fan of this stock. It's very choppy, but here we are. I figured a lot of you may want to do something on Verizon. Wendy's, look at that breakdown. CPRT. I hope you like these stocks. These are my favorite bearish stocks right now. And Globe. This is a payment processor. Okay, I think. Now let me give you long stocks. CCJ. Where did we see this one before, right? Food manufacturing. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. Look at that beauty. Wait. Well, we're going to be taking profit on the income trade if it goes higher. It's up 1% right now. But I'd want it, if you guys are going to buy it, if you don't have it yet. We have a weekly cash flow and we took a profit on it yesterday. But if you still have it, wait. I mean, if you want to buy it, wait for it to get to this level right here, the 8-day. Citibank, although be careful, financials today. Looks good. I still like Microsoft. Who gave you a bonus on not a bonus. Who gave you a pit trade in Microsoft that ran away with the circus yesterday? GE. That stock just kept going higher and higher and higher. Did you guys make money on Microsoft yesterday in the pit? GE. Wait for it to get to the 8-day EMA. But I do like this stock. CPNG. Almost, Bob. We almost have our 300. There we go. CPNG. Roblox. First time I've ever mentioned this stock on this show, right? Wink, wink. Wait for it to get to the 8-day EMA. WDC. Should have taken the stock. I didn't take it because we had NVIDIA and they were too correlated. That's why I did. That's the only reason why I didn't take the stock. I even mentioned that in the room. Still holding some. Yes, Microsoft. Yes. Good. These tickers you're naming, you're being short on. No, Kevin, these are longs. I switched long to CCJ. CCJ was my first long. Before that, it was all shorts. I first do the shorts, then I do the longs. Just FYI. It's not a stupid question. It's a normal question. CRDO. Most of the time, people ask me stupid questions. They don't think the question is stupid. When they think the question is stupid, it's usually a good question. AVGO, obviously, you're going to be very mindful of the stock because chips right now are, you may get a good opportunity to buy this right at the 15. It tends to go to the 15-day right here. You may get an opportunity to get it at the 15-day, not at the 8-day, but at the 15-day. Keep an eye on this stock. Set an alert. That's all I have for you guys for today. So, how are we going to dominate this market? Well, the S&P is still in this range. This is live, by the way. The S&P is still in this range. We're kind of cooling off a little bit, although the bond market's looking good. We're still in this bottom. I think we're going to stay in this channel today. We have a news report at 9:15. We have a news report today. We have a two-sided market. My suggestion would be not to buy breakouts today to the long side. Do not buy breakouts to the long side. Be very, very skeptical that the stock will have follow through. Keep your eye on volume and start looking at the number of stocks trading to the downside versus the upside. We are still highly vulnerable in our entire market structure. Okay. Remember these levels, they're starting to come off. These momentum levels, Remember, this was at 90th percentile. It's now at 72. Remember, communication services. Look, I want to show you this. Look how much it's cooled off since I told you about it last week with Gramster and Nate. Look at this. I show this to you every single day. I hope you guys are paying attention. We were right here when I told you be careful of communication stocks. Right here. Now we're here. The market is starting to cool off. You're not seeing it yet. Undercover, though, when you look at the number of stocks and when you look at momentum levels, you could see that things are starting to cool off. The market is looking a lot more like this than it's looking to you externally right now. You're being lied to right now by the mega caps. This is what this market is looking like. The last 5 days, we have not had upside directional momentum. This is the equal weighted SPY. Keep your eye on the equal weighted SPY. The next level is 180. I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Hopefully this was helpful to you. And I love you all and I appreciate you all. If you have a question, roger@rogerscott.com. And remember, if you're frustrated about something, Customer Service Live is the place to be. And I will be unpacking a lot of stuff today because we've been talking about day trading. So I'm going to be unpacking a lot of stuff today in the VIP room. And here's the link for that. Thank you all. And I hope to see you later. Bob, we got our 311 without even begging for it. Thank you, Bob, for doing an amazing job. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for giving me such warm feedback. I appreciate all of you. And I'll see you guys in the room. Keep an eye on the Telegram channel. Bye, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Have a good day, everybody. Happy hump day. Be careful. The market is not as bullish as you may think it is right now. It's much more two-sided or getting there. And I don't think I'm wrong on this. Too many things are